This could be a bit of an interesting one. As in, after the customer described to me what the problem was, I thought to myself, oh, I don't know. And my brain doesn't normally function like that. I've always got to have an answer. Normally somebody says, oh, my TV's doing this, or my TV's doing that. You kind of have a good idea what it is, because, you know, you've either repaired that model before, or your electronic brain just knows. But this one I'm not too sure. This is a Sony 42-inch. I'll give you the model number because I can see it, that it's dangling around the back. When I saw that model number, I suddenly thought to myself, is that the model number that had problems with the eMMC chip? But apparently there was a surge. So the property had a surge, power surge, obviously. And most of his electronic stuff has died, including the TV. And he's done what, to be honest, I would have done if he'd have brought it to me. And that he's I'll just swap the camera angles over. He's replaced the power module, the Sony brick as we call it. This is still the original. There is a chance that this is faulty. I've got several of these anyway, but he did buy a brand new one. The TV still hasn't come on. But I would have thought that getting a power surge would not necessarily send a power surge through here. The protection is all in there. This should either be 19 volts. I imagine the TV could take probably up to 30, 40 volts anyway. And after that, that goes kaput. Anyway, the first thing to do is get a multimeter and just put it on this and see. But as he said, the brand new one didn't work. That doesn't mean that this one does. Because if it had a power surge, surely this is the first point of attack. Yep. So it's got 19 volts. That doesn't mean it's perfect. It could have a problem and it could disappear under load. So maybe the DC has shot into the... There is a mini power board on here. And maybe it's taken a fuse out. Maybe it's taken the diode out, little protection diode. I keep seeing marks on here, which get me worried. The reason they get me worried, I did a TV yesterday and I broke the screen. And you will see the video on that. I'm not going to hide it from you. But it wasn't my fault. Anyway, let's take the back off this Sony and see what we see. Yep, she's here. For Christmas, by the way, Misty says she'd like a new warmer blanket. This orange one's getting a bit... Well, I know it's getting dirty. I could wash that. But I think she wants something a bit more fleecy. Is that right, Misty? Something a bit more fleecy? You all right? Let's have a look at you. Beautiful. Look at her eyes. You never know, Misty. Somebody might buy you a blanket. Somebody bought me something from Amazon the other day. Anyway, sorry. That's it. All screws out. Every freaking time. I'm sure you think I do this as a gimmick, but I don't. I naturally am this dumb. Jesus Christ. You're guessing the fuse now, aren't you? 5 amp fuse. Could be. Could have been a current thing. But let's face it, in the world of electronics, it's never the fuse. To be honest with you, though, I'm also thinking that it's the fuse because of all the details the customer tells me. When the customer tells you that he's had a power surge and all the electronics in the house have stopped working, by the way, my TV stopped working, you have to think. But you'll find out. Also, it turns out there's about 5 fuses on that board, and I think there's 3 or 4 on the main board. I will check them all for you, because otherwise you'll just make comments. Okay. Plug back in and follow the voltage around and see. All the extra fuses on the board seem to be fine. There is a diode here. If anything's going to go because of an overcurrent or over voltage, it's going to be the diode. So I'll just switch the meter in diode mode and we'll see what it's doing. Okay, I'm now thinking that the main board has failed, and I think it's down to the eMMC chip. I don't think this has got anything to do with the voltage excess that he was talking about. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, the surge, man, the surge. Let's see if we can find 19 volts on the main board, and if the main board's getting its 19 volts, it needs a new main board. And that probably won't be cheap for this model. Here's a top tip for Sony's. There's a capacitor on all of these boards, doesn't matter what model Sony you're looking at, and the capacitor is just here. If when you get 19 volts on that capacitor, if you get 19 volts on that capacitor, it means that your eMMC and your TV's not working, it is your chip. So, it's there, baby. So this is going to need a new mainboard. I wonder how much they are. It's going to be one of the common ones. Common faults. So I don't think... Sorry, the cat scratched me then because I'm moving around. Little naughty girl. I don't think these boards are going to be available. I think it's EMMC chip repair, which is about 70, 80 quid. Okay, let me see. Bad filming. The capacitor is the top right-hand one. It's a little brown SMD, all on its own. Okay, I've just suddenly realised what the fault is. Well, obviously we know it's the chip now, but I should have realised by looking at the model number that it is an EMC before I take the back off. I've done so many of these, but I've got brain fog today. So there's somebody here selling a main board for 80 quid plus postage. I'd have to stick a cup of coffee and a KFC bucket on top of that, so probably 120 quid in total. I don't know if it's worth it. This is a board, whether the chip's already been replaced. What you have to remember, if the chip's been replaced, and I'm trying to highlight the chip there, I don't know if my cursor comes out on the video, possibly it doesn't. But I'll point it out with an arrow now. Well, let me make the picture bigger just in case that helps. Okay, there. That's the chip. Now you can buy these chips for tuppence, but I haven't got a programmer. I don't get involved in all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of comebacks, and also you lose all your smart services. Well, you lose iPlayer, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and maybe something else. I can't remember. But that goes. So do bear that in mind. I don't get involved in the programming and the chips. I used to have somebody that did it for me, but the last couple of occasions he's tried to do it, he ended up mislaying customers' boards. I don't mind if it's my boards, but when it's customers' boards, and I get a bit suspicious. So I've gone with somebody else now. But if you're on eBay, ding, ding, ding. And you see there's somebody doing a repair service, but do bear in mind it's 70 quid. I'd have to put my bit on top and just make sure you get the right screen. This guy's replacing the chip, but how do you know what screen it is in the first place? Usually they ask you to send the T-Con. I have got the LG screen here. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, it's a 4-year-old TV. Losing its smart services, so you'd quote a customer 120 quid to fix. Yeah. Don't know. I mean, I get a bit of a discount, obviously, on the people that I use who repair all my bits, but not a great deal. I get 20 quid. It just helps in the profit margin at the end of it. So I just thought I'd bring you into this because it's not going to be a repair video. You've seen Sony's that I've sent off before in the past. They're quite reliable when the chips have been done, but these TVs are a certain age now. Is it cost effective? Let me know if you think so in the comments, if you'll be so kind. Thank you very much for watching. Got loads to do over the weekend. I'm just catching up with so many. Got an old Samsung. In fact, this weekend's going to be old stuff. Old Samsung and a plasma I'm going to be doing this weekend, amongst others. But have a nice weekend. Take care. Thanks for watching.